I'm speechless. How can anyone receive so much? Thank you. I'm truly humbled. I'm truly humbled and moved by this overwhelming and incredible acknowledgement from all of you. First of all, I want to thank our international president, the wonderful messages, the remarks, International President Julia Moon, Dr. Sanjin Moon, also Reverend Dr. Ki-Hun Kim. Thank you so much for coming all the way from Las Vegas to be here today and then go back. Thank you very much. And yeah, the dear sisters and women and that have spoken here before me, they are really the wind between my wings, to be honest with you. Baron Juanita, my team, our team, our incredible leaders in the field, they are seasoned leaders of the heart and the spirit. And together we were able to do so much. So yeah, well, this is a difficult speech, but 13 years has been a long time, right? It's been a very long time. Sometimes I thought I would be here for 4 years and then leave, but actually God had another plan. And so it was 13 years of unbelievable experiences, challenges, yes, but also rewarding moments of sisterhood, of love, of challenge, of meeting so many women around the world, men as well. We are not against men, by the way. I always say we're not here to compete, but to complete men and women in the Women's Federation. And so we continue the path of our founders. I want to express my deepest gratitude, truly, as was said many times, to our founders, Dr. Hak Ja Han Moon and Father San Myung Moon. When they called me in 2010, I really was honored and took that extremely seriously because I felt it was truly the beginning of the arrival of the era of women. But what does that mean? And how do you live that every day as a daughter of God? That was my question. And so when I look back, well, I asked God, as you said, God was my friend. He gave the answers when I asked. And I asked God, what do you want me to do with the Women's Federation at this time? And I did stand on an incredible foundation of my predecessors. I knew that Women's Federation was not very known in our movement and the world, but it had already an incredible foundation. I had a vision of tears surrounding me when I was sitting there in front of Father Moon and hearing about the Women's Federation. And I thought, I'm standing on that foundation, and that is an incredible responsibility. So I asked God, what do you want me to do? Well, I got 3 answers. Number 1, God said, study and understand the vision and mission of the Women's Federation of Mother Moon very deeply, her speeches. So we created these 3 pillar speech booklets because that was the job description. If I wanted to be true to the founding, I had to study the word and internalize it and make it my own. That's what I did. And I want to thank Kim Darachanji because she said we should study the word. So I'm listening to others, And so we studied those words and I was, okay, how do you put this into action? Number 2 was prepare for the next generation. Yes, I did understand I was a transitional president. I had to find a way to already in the time where we are to create something for the future. We call it Chonyeolguk in the Korean. It's a kingdom of heaven. It's a different culture than where we come from, but we have to create it in the midst of where we stand. And the 3rd one was the word satin. Satin. You know what is satin? It is a fabric that is shining on the outside and dull on the inside. So I felt that's the message. Women have to shine the love of God and the truth, and they have to absorb with the dull, the pain, the suffering. And that's what the women have done here. I want to really thank Ambassador Cook for coming. She's one of the women leaders. When you're a woman leader, you know what that means, the satin, okay? But also it is an acronym for smile and shine, always sparkle. A for action, women of action. Yes, we have to do action. T for transformation through truth, self-transformation. It starts here and it goes out. I for impact, impacting others with that example. And N for what? Nurturing self and the next generation. So I already knew next generation. And by God's grace, our staff, our team, as you could see, is already a mixed team, next generation. So with that foundation, we started from the beginning. Yes, I was very moved by my team today. I want to really, first of all, thank Katarina Conway, because when she came in, and also Kiyomi Schmidt, who is here watching, they made a difference in the Women's Federation, because we were like sacrificing and going forward and doing things, but they put it into visible products, you know what I mean? Structure, pamphlets, synergizing things and streamlining things, right? Let's give them a round of applause. These young women were amazing. They made us look really good, and the best organization in this movement, I have to say, that is Women's Federation, because we are paying for our own self, and we have a structure, we have a plan, we are tracking our goals, thanks to President Naokimi, by the way. He was our coach at one point. And so we were always with a young spirit, right? And then at the same time, as we also heard, of course, the Global Women Peace Network. And I really would like to thank all of our associates and partners in Global Women Peace Network when Father Moon started that. And I was sitting in the front row, by the way. I was sitting there when Father Moon looked at us in the eye. And he said, please support Mother Moon. You women have to complete the job of restoration. Well, in the Women's Federation, we are not only doing projects, we are also responsible to restore, to recreate, to rebuild humanity from the inside out into the original, right? That's our goal. So he said that, and we took that seriously through the Global Women Peace Network, and the partners who are already prepared in that same vision came to us. That's why we have this amazing network. And again, who was helping? Mrs. Kiyomi Schmidt. She is here on the line. She created the Global Friends. She created all the practical tools for that, just like Katarina created Chairwoman Manual. She created the Cornerstone for Peace and Happiness, PowerPoints and everything. So you can see that really God, I felt, prepared us already for this moment of transition. Because we're all transitional beings, right? We're here only for a certain time. So I just want to thank God and for all the sacrifices and love and tears that helped me to keep going. Yes, there were many times when I felt there was no hope. And it was by faith. We are celebrating Black History Month, my dear sisters. By faith, by commitment, by love, prayer, tears, and unity of heart, we made it. We made it through. I want to give all of you a round of applause. Yeah, let me come to a close because a lot was already said. I cannot conclude my remarks without mentioning my family. Who was standing beside me for the last 13 years. No complaint, especially my husband, Bob Selle. Without him, I couldn't be here. He always believed in me, he supported me, loved me. I had a shoulder to cry on. And yeah, he's a true man, okay? So and also I'd like to really thank our oldest son, Carl Selle. And his wife, Erika. They're here. You know why? Because they're one of the top donors. Without money, we couldn't come this far. So yeah, Carl, thank you so much all these years. And I also want to give incredible gratitude to my daughter, Tanya. She's on the line. she was my comfort many times. She joined also from the very beginning. She came to all the retreats, to the assemblies. She was a leader here in the Maryland area, and she contributed to the curriculum, right? And you saw her in the video. She is an incredible woman of love and has supported me so much. So Tanya, I owe you everything. Thank you. And two other sons who are not here today, but they also never complained, and they had to deal with my travels, you know, and out of town so many times, and then also, you know, being at work. But here we are. It is completed, and we are so proud and so grateful that we together, who came this far, we have come this far. We are really ready to prepare for the passing the baton. We are going to pass the baton for real. This is happening today. So just a few words. I'm extremely grateful that we have actually found an amazing woman, a successor, that I feel is almost like already my second self. I had no idea she would be the one stepping forward, and she stepped up, right? She stepped up at this moment and stepped in this role, and both roles that we'll be bequeathing to her, Mrs. Kaylee Moffett. I'll introduce her in a moment more in detail. I just want to end my own speech here and say, we have a lot of hope, we have a lot of joy, we have a lot of excitement coming up. Mother Moon is keeping going forward. We will not stop. We will be the wind beneath her wings, between all of our women and sisters' wings, so we can fly and we can bring a good world of peace about in our lifetime. The best is yet to come.